Hello and welcome back. Today is going to be a short day as we are pulling up anchor on Stockton Island and heading over to Port Superior Marina, which is just south of Bayfield, Wisconsin, which is about 16 miles away. Despite the anchorage having another half dozen boats in it, everybody was very quiet and respectful, making for a very peaceful night and great morning. Since the destination was so close, the anchor wasn't pulled up until about 11 a.m. It was going to be another great day in the Apostles today, so there were lots of other boats on the move. And from what I saw, the majority of the boats around the Apostles are sailboats. When there aren't any waves, things floating in the water become quite obvious. From a distance, it looked like a log. However, once I got alongside, I noticed it was a cushion from a boat, which became a great opportunity to practice a man overboard drill and boat maneuvering. Occasionally, when boating around the Great Lakes, you will see something spherical floating on the water from a good distance away. Most of the time it turns out to be party balloons, which are kind of the same size as a human head, so it's a good opportunity to spot, track, and try to recover. And comes with the added benefit of removing some trash from the lakes. This cushion was very waterlogged and did not have a lot of drain points, so it took me a good 5 minutes to get it up on the swim platform and must have weighed 100 plus pounds. To the right is the Wisconsin mainland, going past Red Cliff, Wisconsin right now, which has some interesting rocky shorelines to go past. To the left is Basswood Island. You can get really close to some shorelines in the Apostle Island since the water is so deep so close to shore. A little annoying to anchor, but great for cruising. Bayfield, Wisconsin seems to be the main hub to access the Apostle Islands. Lots of boat tours and ferries depart from the small town. Since I was unsure of the exact timing of when I would arrive at the Apostles during this trip, I didn't try to reserve a spot in Bayfield until about a week and a half prior, and unfortunately they were already full. I did call the morning before I left anchor just to see if anything changed, and still no luck. Lots of people were in town due to the nice weather, and there was also a sailboat regatta a few days prior. So we are heading about 2.5 miles south down the coast to a large marina that did have space. When I couldn't get into Bayfield, I had a relative who actually lived in town who recommended the Port Superior Marina to me. What he failed to mention, and what the person on the phone I made a reservation with also failed to mention, was that this little nice bay that looks like one complete marina is actually two separate marinas. To the west is the Port Superior Marina, and to the east is the Pikes Bay Marina. They had differing number systems for their slips between the two, so this led me to wandering around a bit confused until I eventually called the marina and they sent out a dockhand to rescue me. The marina's facilities were very modern and seemed well maintained. They had a nice small pool and also a pretty good restaurant on the second floor of their main building. There was also a very well-stocked ship store. Unfortunately, the only way to town from this small marina was up a hill on a pretty busy highway. So unless you had a car, the only real way to get into town would be having a small dinghy where you could just go the 2.5 miles to Bayfield. Luckily, my relative in town came and picked me up and drove me to town and the surrounding area to explore, and also drove me to the local grocery store. Because of the inconvenience and not really being able to get anywhere without a car, I'd strongly recommend getting a marina slip in Bayfield if you visit the area. The cushion rescued earlier in the day turned out to be in pretty good shape, so after drying it out on the dock for a few hours, it was turned into the marina's lost and found, so hopefully it found its way back home. Docking at this slip marks our halfway point on this trip at 778.5 miles. I would like to take a moment to thank all of you. It's blown me away that so many of you have taken an interest in my trip, and I very much appreciate you all bearing with me as I learn how to properly edit these videos. So thank you all for your time, interest, and input. Due to a few bad days of weather followed by a great weather window, the next video will be covering a 220-mile day. If that's something that interests you or you like these videos in general, feel free to subscribe. Until then, I will see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.